Today, you are going to learn 3 new sight words. We are going to do an activity to help you learn those sight words. And then at the end of this video, you're going to practice writing the sight words that we learned today in a sentence. Sight words are so important because these are words that you will see a lot in the books that you're reading. Sight words or snap words can be tricky because you cannot um, sound out a lot of our sight words. So you have to be able to read them in a snap. That means when you see the sight word, you have to be able to read it quickly. Before we start our activity, I want you to go get a stuffed animal and I want you to bring it next to your learning spot. So I'll give you a second to go get a stuffed animal. Or if you need to, you can pause this video. If you have your stuffed animal ready, I want you to put your stuffed animal next to you so your stuffed animal can sit by you. And I want you to make sure that it's nearby. So whenever you meet your stuffed animal and whenever you need to talk to your stuffed animal will be right there. But make sure you're not holding it or it's in your lap because I want to make sure that you're listening and you're really learning these sight words. The first sight word we're going to talk to um, is written in red. Can you find the red letters on your screen? If you found them, then that is our first sight word. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to read that sight word. And if you can't read that sight word and you don't know what that sight word is, that's okay because I'm about to tell you. So if you can read it, can you read it to your stuffed animal? That is the word so. Can you read it now to your stuffed animal? So. What we're going to do now is the second thing we're going to do since we read it is we're going to study the letters in the word so. So I want you to look at those letters and I want you to tell your stuffed animal, what is something that you notice about those letters? Tell your stuffed animal. I notice that one of the letters in so has a hole in it. The O has a hole in the middle of it. The third thing we're going to do is we're going to spell it. Now on your screen, there is a picture of a girl swimming. This is going to tell us how we are going to spell our word today. So it says you are going to do a forward stroke or a backward stroke for each letter of the word. Then at the end, we're going to pretend to dive to the bottom as we say the whole word. So first you have to think, are you going to want to do a front stroke or a back stroke when you're reading, when you're saying the letters? All right, friends, so let's start with the first letter. S, O. Now let's dive and read it. So. Nice job, friends. Now, I want you to get your pointer finger. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to write the word so in the air. If you don't know how to spell so, don't worry. You can look at the screen, look for that red word. As I'm writing a letter, I'm going to say it out loud. That's going to help me remember how to spell it. Okay, let's start with the first letter. S, O. The last thing we're going to do is now we're going to think of how can we use so in a sentence. So I'm going to give you a second to think, and then I want you to tell your stuffed animal your sentence. My sentence is, I am going to do my work so I can go outside and play. So my sentence was, I am going to do my work so I can go outside and play. All right, friends, now we're going to move to our next sight word. Remember, you can find the sight word if you look for the word that is red. Can you read that sight word? If you can't, that's okay. I'm about to tell it to you. Read it to your stuffed animal. That is the word them. All right, let's read it again. Them. Now, we're going to study the letters and the word them. I want you to tell your stuffed animal something you notice about those letters and the word them. I notice that them has one vowel. and that vowel is E. What we're going to do now is we're going to spell it. On your screen, you will see a picture of it looks like some boxing gloves. That picture tells us how we're going to spell this word. It says, pretend you are a boxer and lightly punch each letter in the word. When you spell the whole word, you're going to raise one hand in the air like you're a champion and shout the word. Are you ready? So every time you say a letter, you're going to lightly punch forward. Remember, the word is written in red, so you can look there as we're spelling the word. All right, let's go. T, H, E, M. Let's say the word together. Them. Now shout the word, them. Great job, friends. Now, I want you to get your pointer finger and we're going to write the word them. Remember, as you're writing a letter, make sure you say that letter out loud. T, H, E, M. Them. Now, the last thing we're going to do with this sight word is you're going to use them in a sentence. So I want you to think of your sentence and then tell your stuffed animal. Go ahead. Okay, friends. My sentence is I want them to play with me. I want them to play with me. All right, great job, friends. The last sight word we're learning looks like them. So this is when it's really important that when you're looking at your sight words, you look at all the letters because both of these words, I'm going back and forth if you look, they both start with T and H, and then they have an E next to them too. So both of these words have T-H-E. So you have to look at all the letters in this new word. So what do you think this word is? Read it if you can. This is the word these. Let's read that together. These. Now, let's study the letters in the word these. Tell your stuffed animal something you notice about those letters. I notice that there are two E's in the word these. All right, now we're going to spell it. I see an alligator on my screen. Let's see what it's telling us to do this time. It says, make an alligator mouth with your arms. Chomp each time you chant a letter in the word. All right, are you ready? Remember, the word is written in red. T, H, E, S, E. Now let's read it. These. Great job you spelling that word. Now get your pointer finger and let's write it in the air. Remember to say the letters out loud while you write it. T, H, E, S, E. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to use the word these in a sentence. I want you to think of that sentence and tell your stuffed animal. My sentence is, these are my favorite toys. These are my favorite toys. So now that we have practiced our sight words, so, them, and these, you are going to do this activity. This looks very similar to what you did last week. But this time the words are different. You are going to write them, so, and these in a sentence. Make sure your sentence makes sense. So when you read it out loud to yourself, make sure that your sentence is a sentence that does make sense. After you write 3 sentences, you're going to pick one sentence to illustrate. So you're going to pick one sentence you want to draw a picture about, and you're going to draw it in this box. All right, friends, I hope you have fun writing your sight word sentences and drawing your picture. Don't forget to upload it to Seesaw.